All right, ladies and gentlemen, here we go. It all comes down to tonight. The 2 points contenders on the front row. Alberto Alvarez keeps his championship hopes alive, getting the pole. Kirk Marble starting in second. Riley Shintak starting in third, next to Clay Kirchheimer in fourth, Christopher Sever, Jacob Morgan fifth and sixth, Justin Swafford and Patrick Pieper seventh and eighth, Tyler Hunt, Vic Brown round out the top 10. Austin Roscoff starting in 11th, next to Adrian Borden in 12th. Richie Joplin starting in 13th, Jacob Gibson in 14th, Colby Whipple starts 15th, next to Brian Hewitt in 16th, Eric W. in 17th, Aaron Brill in 18th, Ryan McDaniel in 9th, and David Lux rounds out the 20-car field. Drivers getting gridded up. Just waiting for the last few drivers to take to the track here at Homestead. I have a feeling we're going to be keeping a close eye on these top two, that looking right ahead at them, as those two are battling for the championship. And this is one of those tracks that we often see at long green flag runs. We have more than once seen a race go green to checkers here. Will they be able to pull it off tonight? Let's find out as they roll out for their pace lap. Alberto Alvarez in the pink and black 14. Kirk Marble in the 16, right next to him. Those are the two battling for the championship, and that bracket challenge also came down to these two. You heard Kirk say he's really more concerned with the bracket challenge because of the $50 bonus. Here they come out of turn 4. Pace car will dip in. Pace car is in. Here we go. Barney stands ready. Green flag is in the air. The season finale at Homestead is underway. Through 1 and 2, everybody stacked up side by side. The exit of turn 2 is often exciting, but everybody makes it through clean this time. Alberto Alvarez through 3 and 4. Kirk Marble just behind. And Alberto Alvarez gets a lap lead. Alberto doing exactly what he needs to. Remember, it is a very long shot for Alberto to pull this off, but he is doing exactly what he needs to do. Clay Kirchheimer in 4th, Christopher Sever in 5th. Looks like some battling going on back here from about 11th on back. Adrian Borden, Vic Brown, Richie Joplin, Jacob Gibson, Colby Whipple right behind, battling with Brian Hewitt. Hewitt trying to put as much space between himself and Ryan McDaniel as possible early on. Kirk Marble just set the fastest lap last time by. A lot of drivers were practicing riding right up on that wall, using that cushion of air to get as close as possible to the wall and moving forward. Riley Shintag on the bottom, and he goes to second, but Kirk out of 4 shoots to the bottom, big run into 1. Kirk Marble back to second place, but Alberto Alvarez still leading. Now Riley Shintag back to second. Hey, good evening, Tina. Doing okay? How are you doing? Riley Shintag now has the fastest lap as those two battling out for second and third, back behind. Christopher Severn in fourth, still with them. Clay Kirchenbauer in fifth. Swafford now into sixth. Jacob Morgan in seventh. Patrick Pieper currently in eighth. Adrian Borden in ninth. And Richie Joplin now to 10th. Everybody settling in for the moment. Brian Hewitt now in 15th as Whipple on the bumper. Austin Ruskoff, who was fastest in practice, did not qualify well. He qualified in 11th, but has dropped back to 17th already. Austin right up there on the wall. Aaron Brill and Ryan McDaniel back behind. David Lux did not take the grid tonight. Alberto Alvarez continuing to lead, continuing to keep Kirk Marble in the mirror. Remember, Kirk has to finish worse than 18th, which means he will need to have an issue pretty soon. But as long as Kirk stays up here in the top 5, he will lock that championship in. Adrian Borden on the move in the 11 car, now up 3 spots into 9th. Richie Joplin has followed him 3 spots into 10th, and Jacob Gibson already up 3 spots into 11th. Eric W. and Bob Ross, though, continue to move forward up 4 spots into 13th. Alberto continuing to lead Riley Shintag and Kirk Marble. And it is highly likely Alberto has his fingers crossed for problems tonight for Kirk Marble. Kirk still holds third, can't get back by Riley in second. This is a multi-groove track, and we're seeing drivers use every inch of this track to move forward. And in fact, we had a broadcast here just a couple of weeks ago with BRR, and definitely saw some interesting new lines that were working very, very well for one or two of the drivers could see some new lines out here tonight. Hey, good evening, Chrono. Thank you for the raid, buddy. Good evening, Lowen. How are you guys doing tonight? Clay Kirchham are losing a little ground here. I'm doing good, Lowen. Justin Swafford now up into fifth as Kirk Marble, the points leader, is losing a little ground. Now slipping back to fourth, Christopher Severt trying to take third. Marble had the high line out of four, pulls back up. No problem, Lowen. Just glad I finally got him fixed. Alberto has opened up a 1 second lead over Riley. Kirk back in third, Christopher Severt in fourth, Justin Swafford now in fifth. Clay Kirchham, Patrick Pieper, Jacob Morgan, Richie Joplin, and Adrian Borden. The top 10, Richie, who said he did not expect to survive tonight's race, currently up 4 spots in the ninth. Jacob Gibson currently in 11th. W and Bob Ross continue making their way forward now into 13th. They've closed the gap though on Tyler Ott. Have gotten right to his back bumper. Eric going right up to the wall using that cushion of air to not smack it but get all the momentum off that high line. Did hear a few of the drivers talking about the fact that cushion of air that builds between the car and the wall, if you come off of turn 2 just wrong, you'll compress that cushion of air, and it can actually cause the car to get loose, especially on cold tires. Part of the reason we see a lot of incidents out of turn 2 right after tire changes. Colby Whipple battling with Austin Roscoff, and Austin continuing to fade. He's now back into 15th. He was the fastest in practice. Colby Whipple was also extremely fast in practice, but both drivers appear to be struggling. Aaron Brill back in 18th. Ryan McDaniel back in 19th. Brian Hewitt safely in 14th. Oh, a little bobble out of Hewitt coming out of turn 2. 20 laps in, tire wear is becoming a problem, especially if they've been leaning hard on that right rear tire. Alberto Alvarez's fastest lap, 32.77. Last time by, 33.39. So already 0.6 of a second off pace. Those numbers appear to be pretty consistent throughout the field. We've got a battle for second again. Kirk Marble moves back into second. Christopher Severt sits in third. Riley has drifted back to fourth and is losing ground. Riley got the wall. Swafford comes by and takes fourth. Clay Kirchenbauer is closing in rapidly. As we mentioned, these races at Homestead tend to have long green flag runs. Most of the drivers looking at 40 to 45 laps on a tank of fuel. Pit strategy tonight could be huge, and as we often see with green flag stops, speeding penalties could be a huge problem. A speeding penalty could take a driver from top 3 to dead last in the blink of an eye. Could also see a few drivers here try and short pit, hitting earlier than everybody else, potentially making an extra pit stop, but utilizing the fresh tires for several laps to run down and better their position. Hey, good evening, Red Panda. Kirk Marble, Christopher Severt still battling for second place. Whoa! Kirk got wild out of 2. He saved it from getting into the wall. Taking a look at Kirk down from the blimp as they come through 3 and 4. Looked like he may have just snapped. Yeah, he was bobbling already coming through 3 and 4. Got loose. A scary, scary moment for the points leader. He does manage to save it. Christopher Severt now has a gap in second. Kirk Marble in third. Our apologies, a little technical problem there on the replay. Kirk Marble has dropped into third, but Swafford is closing in. Clay Kirchenbauer now up into fifth. Patrick Pieper in sixth. Riley has slipped back into seventh. Jacob Morgan in eighth. Richie Joplin in ninth, but Richie continues to make up ground as he is looking at Jacob Morgan's back bumper. I think Riley may have given the wall a little kiss out of turn 4. And he did lose some momentum. Jacob Morgan going by Richie Joplin right behind, looking for the move. They are going off into 3 and 4, 3 wide. Richie pushes up. Oh! Caution is out for the first time. And Richie Joplin involved. Looking down from the blimp as they go off into the turn 3 wide. Richie trying to clear Riley. Ends up smacking the wall. He does get it going again. Will, I'm sure, be on pit road. Looked like Riley may have gotten the inside wall as well. Ooh, Riley got smacked a couple of times, but did manage to keep it off the wall. Hey, thank you, Lowen. Have a great night. And here comes the entire field. Richie Joplin ended up towing in. The entire field is coming in for 4 tires and fuel. Richie Joplin is on pit road. He'll get repaired and get back out. Oh, Kirk overshot his pit stall. Alberto beats him off pit road. Second place is going to be Christopher Severt. Kirk Marble's going to come out back in about 5th. Apparently, Brian Hewitt did not come in. That is a big surprise. I'm guessing he missed. Pit road was open. He should see him in this time. He can only go about 8 to 10 more laps on fuel. And here comes Hewitt into pit road. Brian Hewitt came in tonight 17th in points. Just 6 points behind Aaron Brill. Hewitt may have been staying out that extra lap to lead a lap and grab some bonus points. Lights are out on the pace car. Hewitt will also have the advantage of being the last one in. He will be able to stretch that fuel a little bit further. And it does look like Aaron Brill, Austin Ruskoff, also came in to top off. Richie Joplin still on pit road for repairs. And you know what seems like a good idea, especially since we may get a long green flag run again, is let's get a little bit loud on the restart. When the green flag drops, I'm going to shut up and let you guys crank it up and get a bit loud. Listen to all that horsepower. Green flag is in the air. Crank it up, everybody. On the restart, Alberto got himself a little bit of room has pulled away from Christopher Severt. Justin Swafford now up into third. Points leader Kirk Marble in the middle of a 3 wide. Pulls ahead, coming out of turn 2, side by side with Patrick Pieper. Have a great night, Panda. Eric W. and Bob Ross also on the move there, up 7 spots into 10th, and they have got a mess just ahead. Riley Shintek, Jacob Morgan, Tyler Ott, all right there. Patrick Pieper, Clay Kirchenbauer just ahead. This is about 5th on back to 11th. Ryan McDaniel also starting to make, Ryan got the wall. He was starting to make up some ground. It got into 17th. Austin goes by, takes 18th. Ryan McDaniel and Brian Hewitt, though, were almost nose to tail for a moment. Oh, Hewitt loses it out of 2. Good save by Brian Hewitt, but man. We talked about it earlier, cold tires. These cars will get loose out of the turn on these cold tires. Alberto Alvarez has a 1-second lead over now Justin Swafford, as Swafford gets a big run on Severn. Kirk Marble back and forth, Patrick Pieper in 5th, Riley and Clay Kirchenbauer battling for 6th. Richie Joplin is back out on track, but currently 3 laps down. As the battle continues for second place, Severt and Swafford battling back and forth. Swafford on the high side. That high line does have a lot more momentum. The engine stays wound up. Carry a lot more speed off the turn, but the bottom is the shortest way around. And you wouldn't think that would make a huge difference at a track like this, but at some of the tracks, even short tracks, the difference between the high line and the bottom can mean as much as a quarter of a mile. As Swafford takes second place, Kirk Marble back and forth up on the high line. Now Pieper goes by, he'll take 4th. Kirk Marble now in 5th, Riley in 6th, Clay in 7th, Tyler Ott has moved up to 8th. Jacob Gibson also on the move. Whoa, big bobble for Gibson. Gibson currently in 9th, but Eric and Bob on the move right below. Eric now up 8 spots in the 9th. Jacob Morgan lurking right behind in 11th. Ryan McDaniel has got his momentum back, but did lose a little bit of ground on Brian Hewitt. Austin Ruskoff has now moved back up into 16th. Aaron Brill in 15th was one of the fastest cars on track last time by, but is mired back in 15th. Clay Kirchhammer back in 8th, trying to keep Tyler Ott in his sights. Ott continues his march to the front, now in 7th, and is closing in on Riley and Kirk. And Justin Swafford in 2nd, trying to reel in the leader, but Alberto out front has a 1.3 second lead over Swafford. Track temperature still holding at about 84 degrees. The air temperature has gone down to 80. That will help these engines run a little bit harder. However, that will cause them to use a little bit more fuel. Alberto continuing to pull away from Justin Swafford and Christopher Severt. Patrick Pieper now right up on their bumper. Kirk Marble, the points leader, back in 5th. Remember, Kirk has to finish 18th or better tonight to pull off the championship. Riley Shintek comes by on the high side. Looks like he is going to take 5th place, moving the points leader back to 6th. Tyler Ott in 7th, Clay back in 8th, Eric W. in 9th, Jacob Gibson in 10th. Jacob Morgan right behind in 11th. And we've got a battle back here for 12th on back. Adrian Borden, Colby Whipple, Aaron Brill, Vic Brown, all going at it. Vic definitely needs some luck to go his way. He has had some great runs here lately that ended up caught up in somebody else's mess, as it looks like Ryan McDaniel may have had a problem. There's Ryan coming through. Oh, man, was he out of shape. Gets loose out of 4 down to the apron, but manages to avoid the wall. Gets it gathered up, his foot back in it, and gets back up on track. Close call for Ryan. Ryan McDaniel has gone into pit road. Patrick Pieper now up into 4th, closing the gap on Severt and Swafford. Adrian Borden is on pit road. Ryan McDaniel on his way out. This is a bit early for pit stops. Likely seeing these drivers try some short pit strategy. Remember, everybody was on pit road at lap 31. So they've only been out for about 20 laps on fuel. However, as we mentioned earlier, they have already fallen off about 0.8 of a second. That is definitely going to be where Ryan and Adrian will run everybody down. They will have the freshest tires on track. And we've talked about it before, how fun it is to be out on any track when you have fresh tires. Everybody else is out there on old tires, and you go blasting through the field. Uh-oh. Ryan McDaniel is back in 18th. He is not on the lead lap, but directly behind is Brian Hewitt. They have been unable to avoid each other for weeks now. If one of them has a problem, they both end up in it. Oh, Hewitt gets the wall. Out front, Alberto Alvarez starting to get into lap traffic and pull away from second place, Justin Swafford, as Christopher Sever goes to the bottom. Patrick Pieper going to try and follow him through on the bottom as Sever has the nose ahead going into one. Christopher Sever now into second. Pieper side by side with Swafford for third. Kirk Marble right behind him in fifth. Starting to look under. They almost went 3 wide that time. Swafford underneath Pieper trying to reclaim third. Riley Shintag and Tyler Ott closing up. Clay Kirchenbauer also gaining a little ground back behind. Eric W. back in 9th is also closing in. One of the fastest cars in the top 10 last time by. Eric on the move. Eric already up 8 spots into 9th. And right behind him, Jacob Gibson up 4 spots into 10th. And Jacob Gibson, the first car out of the top 10 to come in. 30 laps into the run. Looks like some of the drivers are trying to change up the strategy to see if they can make something happen. Clay Kirchenbauer, that is a huge surprise. Clay coming in. Clay is one we usually see stretch the fuel and the tires. Tonight, he brings it in early. Kirk Marble battling with Riley Shintag for 4th. Swafford drifting back now as Tyler Ott on him. Tyler looking to the high side, out of turn 4, down the front straightaway. Brian Hewitt on pit road now as well. Now the question is, will Alberto and the rest of the top 5 run the fuel out, or will they start short pitting, knowing so many drivers have come in? Blake Kirchenbauer, Jacob Gibson back on track, as well as Adrian Borden, Brian Hewitt on his way out. Tyler Ott now has a run on Justin Swampert, and Colby Whipple is on pit road. Tyler Ott now up into 6th place. Another one marching forward. And another one with the Halloween paint on his car. About 6 laps away from all the drivers being in their pit window. That early caution on lap 26 definitely changing up the strategy for everybody. Jacob Morgan still holding on to 9th. Vic Brown still in 10th. Aaron Brill now up 7 spots into 11th. And Austin Ruskoff, who had problems early on, Austin now up into 12th. Remember, that 88 was the fastest in practice. Ryan has the fresh tires. That also means potential for getting loose as he comes through traffic. Eric W. brings Bob Ross in for 4 tires and fuel. And the leader is coming in. Alberto Alvarez is on pit road. Christopher Severt takes the lead for the first time tonight. A few laps earlier than what we expected for Alberto. Now the question becomes, what strategy is Kirk Marble going with here tonight? Currently Kirk back in 3rd place. He has been losing a little ground on the long run, but has stayed in the top 5 all night long. Christopher Severt staying out, picking up some bonus points here tonight. Christopher came in tonight 20th in points. But with Vern Spring not here, he'll move up. Severt stands to gain some ground in the points here tonight. Patrick Pieper and Kirk Marble are back in. And Alberto back out on track, coming up to speed again. So far, Alberto, up until that pit stop, had led every green flag lap. Alberto definitely doing exactly what he needs to do to pull off the championship here tonight. But Kirk Marble just a few cars back from him. Alberto's only hope is Kirk Marble getting caught up in multiple incidents. Aaron Brill giving up 8th place. He is on pit road. Tyler Ott is now up into 2nd, picking up several positions due to pit stops, but he has also picked up several on track. Riley Shintag is in, Aaron Brill is in, Christopher Severt now in, Tyler Ott now has the lead. The top 5 still have not pitted yet. And here comes Ott. He is coming in. Swafford is going to stay out. He'll lead for the first time tonight. Jacob Morgan also in. Justin Swafford, usually a championship contender. And here comes Swafford onto pit road. Vic Brown staying out, Austin Ruskoff. Austin's coming in. Only Vic Brown and left to come in. Alberto Alvarez already moving back up into 2nd. Kirk Marble is back in 7th at the moment. Vic Brown still out, continuing to lead laps. As soon as Vic comes in, Alberto will cycle back into the lead. And here he comes. Vic Brown is coming in to complete the cycle of stops. Alberto Alvarez will take the lead when he comes by pit road. Alvarez reclaims the lead on lap 77, continuing to click away laps, but Kirk Marble is back in 5th. Kirk looking underneath Severt now for 4th. Patrick Pieper and Jacob Gibson battling it out for 2nd. And Pieper goes to 2nd. But they are 5.1 seconds behind Alberto at the moment. Kirk Marble has now moved back up into 3rd, staying right with Pieper. Eric W. has now moved up into 7th and closing the gap on 6th place by Kirchenbauer. Colby Whipple also on the move. Whipple now up into 10th. As Riley Shintag comes by to take 9th. Patrick Pieper and Kirk Marble have fresher tires by 2 laps on the leader. That will start making a difference later on in the run. As Kirk Marble takes second place from Pieper. When I talked to Kirk earlier in the pre-race interview, he did say he wasn't as focused on the championship tonight as he was on beating Alberto, winning that bracket challenge and that $50 bonus. Alberto continuing to lap cars. Aaron Brill just ahead, about to lose a lap. Aaron currently runs in 15th. Only one caution so far tonight early on, lap 26. Richie Joplin pushed up over the nose of a different car, slammed the wall. Richie is still out on track. No, Richie has retired. Ryan McDaniel's still on track. If anybody else retires from this race, regardless of what Alberto does, Kirk Marble will win the championship. Right at 50 laps to go here at Homestead. Alberto Alvarez's lead just started shrinking. Hey, have a good night, Chrono. Thanks for the raid, buddy. Ryan McDaniel was in the wall, letting the leader by. Kirk Marble now in second, is closing in on the leader. He's now 4.4 seconds back as Whipple. Colby Whipple is back on pit road. Colby was running in 10th place. He cannot go the distance from here on fuel. Christopher Severt has moved back into third. Pieper back to fourth. Jacob Gibson having one heck of a charge tonight. He is up 9 spots into 5th. Eric W. also up 9 spots into 8th at the moment as he battles with Tyler Ott for 7th. Tyler Ott down on the bottom. has not been able to clear yet. Patrick Pieper also up 4 spots into 4th, but Jacob Gibson is closing in on him. Clay Kirchenbauer, however, on the high side. And you know Clay loves running right up by the wall. As Clay goes into 5th. Have fun, Richie. Rough night, buddy. Sorry. Alberto's lead now down to 4 seconds as Kirk Marble closing in, but now Christopher Severt back on the move. Well, Severt trying to make the move for second. Got a little bobble out of turn 4. He held on to it, but lost his momentum. Marble holding on to second for the moment. That did allow Patrick Pieper to close in. He is about 3/4 of a second behind that battle. Clay Kirchenbauer now in 5th, 7 1/4 seconds back. Everybody is now within the fuel window. Most of the field pitting around lap 70. I'd expect to see most of them in between lap 100 and 105 for their final stops. So far, Alvarez has dominated this race and has done everything he needed to do here tonight to take the championship from Kirk, but Kirk still sits in 2nd place. Kirk has to finish 18th or worse for Alberto to win the title. Christopher Severt still sits in 3rd, Pieper in 4th. And they have opened the gap on 5th place even more as Tyler Ott tries to reclaim it. Track temperature is still the same, air temp still the same, but as the sun goes down, this track will start to cool off. We could see after those last pit stops some of the fastest laps we have seen tonight. Jacob Morgan has now moved back into 10th and is closing in on Eric W. who is back in 9th. Riley back in 8th. Jacob Gibson up into 7th. Clay Kirchenbauer currently in 6th. Ott now in 5th. And Clay is coming in. Jacob Gibson is coming in. Final stops have begun. Everybody is within the fuel window, so these will be final pit stops unless a late race caution comes out. And if nothing changes the rest of the night, Kirk Marble will win the championship. But as of right now, Alberto Alvarez will win the bracket challenge and that $50 bonus. Swafford is in. Kirk Marble in 2nd, has pulled a little bit of space between him and Severt. Pieper still hanging on at 4th. Ott is losing more ground back in 5th. Riley back in 6th. Jacob Morgan in 7th. Eric gets a little loose. Blowing a close call between Eric and that lap car up on the high side. That is Jacob Gibson that just went by a very close call. Riley Shintag is on pit road. The leader is in. The points leader is in. Patrick Pieper is in. Severt goes to the lead. Jacob Morgan now in. Eric W. is in as well. Tyler Ott moves up to 2nd. And here comes Christopher Severt onto pit road. Aaron Brill is in. Tyler Ott is coming in. Vic Brown and Austin Ruskoff, the only two that have not been in yet. And it does look like Austin may have gotten the wall coming in to turn 3. Vic continues to stay out, as does Austin. Alberto comes off pit road with a 4-second lead on Kirk Marble. Christopher Severt rolls back off pit road now. Kirk went by on the high side, as did Pieper. Severt comes out right behind him. Jacob Gibson in 8th, right on Clay Kirchenbauer's bumper. And impressively, despite 2 rounds of green flag pit stops tonight, we have not seen anybody get a penalty. Vic Brown, Austin Ruskoff continue to stay out. Folks, don't forget, we've been posting about it on our Facebook, but we have a lot of recruiting going on over the next few weeks. BRR is recruiting for Sunday nights. C12 is doing their Tuesday night street stock recruitment. And I'm guessing they will have some Wednesday night recruitment before long in preparation for their IndyCar series coming up in a few weeks. Vic Brown continues to lead. You know he's got his fingers crossed for a caution. He trapped a lot of guys a lap down. Alberto Alvarez back in third after his pit stop. He will cycle back to the lead once pit stops are completed, but his lead only 3.5 seconds over Kirk Marble. Patrick Bieber right behind in fifth. Christopher Severt in sixth. Jacob Gibson back up into seventh. Vic Brown, Austin Ruskoff continue to stretch it out. Hey, have a good night, Tina. Vic and Austin both pitted on lap 74. Alberto just took second place from Austin and is closing the gap on Vic. Kirk Marble back behind is closing the gap on Alberto, though. He is only 3.25 seconds back. Vic Brown continues to stay out, but his 4.5 second lead is closing rapidly as Colby Whipple just came in. Whipple in for his final stop. Vic Brown continuing to stretch it. His lap times are almost at 34 seconds. This is the longest run we've seen any driver take here tonight. To give you an idea of how much off pace he is, last time by he ran a 33.8. Second place, Alberto Alvarez, 33 dead. And Vic continues to stretch it as we get to 24 laps to go. And Kirk Marble back in third, now just 2.8 seconds behind Alberto. Kirk is almost guaranteed the championship at this point. But you know he wants that $50 bonus for beating Alberto in the bracket challenge. This is Alberto's first season with C12 Motorsports, and he has been up there in the fight all season long. Even getting one win. But Kirk Marble with 4 wins this season has just been a dominant force. I am really surprised Vic has not been into pit road yet. nor has Austin Ruskoff, who's drifted back to 6th. Well, one thing's for sure, once they do pit that final time, they will be the 2 fastest cars on track. And Alberto Alvarez let just over half a second behind the leader out of turn 2. You saw how quickly he closed that gap. Off into turn 3, Alberto reclaims the lead. And Vic is coming in. And it looks like, yes, Austin is in. Now it's a 2-car battle as Kirk Marble continues to close the gap on the leader. 20 laps to go. He is 2.8 seconds back at the moment. Kirk continuing to try and close that gap, but the amount he has gained since his pit stop, the progress he was making appears to have slowed down. Vic Brown came off pit road in 11th. Austin Ruskoff in 12th. As we mentioned, Vic and Austin both on fresher tires than everybody by anywhere from 10 to 20 laps. They are going to be flying through traffic. Vic just about 11 seconds behind Swafford at the moment. .7 seconds behind Swafford, but he is faster than Swafford at the moment. We'll see if Vic and Austin's strategy pays off late in this one. Kirk Marble in second, about 2.7 seconds behind Alberto at the moment. It's also worth noting with 15 laps to go, Brian Hewitt and Ryan McDaniel have not gotten together tonight. And they are far enough apart on track at the moment, we should be safe. Alberto has nailed tonight's race perfectly. Perfect stops and perfect laps all night long. Kirk Marble gaining a little ground, but still about 2.7 seconds back, and now Pieper on his bumper. Clay Kirchenbauer's moved up into fifth. Severt back and forth, just behind Patrick Pieper. Tyler Ott has had a great run tonight, up to sixth. Jacob Gibson up into seventh. Riley Shintag in eighth. Eric W. a big run tonight, moving him up into ninth, and Swafford back in 10th. Vic Brown continuing to close in on Swafford, but the gap's still 9.8 seconds. Austin has moved himself up into 12th. Alberto just managing lap traffic for 10 more laps. Aaron Brill back in 14th, is up 4 spots tonight. Hewitt up a spot as well. Ryan McDaniel is on pit road unexpectedly. Ryan had picked up a couple of spots throughout the night. And Alberto has started to pull away as Patrick Pieper has gone to second. Christopher Severt into third, and Kirk Marble has slipped back to fourth. See what happened with Kirk as he went off into the turn. Oh, Kirk got loose out of 4, gets it gathered up and lost a couple of spots. Ouch. His chance at the win ended right there. Alberto's lead now 3.8 seconds over Patrick Pieper. Christopher Severt now in third. Kirk Marble back in fourth. But Kirk will be the champ here tonight. Clay Kirchenbauer back in fifth, but Tyler Ott is back to Clay's bumper. Vic Brown continues to be the fastest car on track, trying to run down Swafford 6 seconds ahead. Last time by, Vic was over a second a lap faster. Ryan McDaniel is back out on track. Five laps to go for Alberto Alvarez. He did everything he needed to do tonight. He will still come home with winning the bracket challenge and that $50 bonus. But Kirk Marble back in fourth, just needs to cruise home to his championship. Patrick Pieper still sits in second. Severt in third. Kirk could very well pull back up to the podium. Pieper is gaining ground on the leader, but only a few tenths of a second a lap. Alberto's lead still 3 1/4 seconds. 3 to go. This will be Alberto's second win of the season. Patrick Pieper closing it down to 3.1. Christopher Severt still right there with him. Kirk Marble now 1.5 seconds back from that fight. Alberto Alvarez trapped between lap traffic. Drops to the bottom. He'll come by Swafford. And here we go. White flag is in the air. One more time around for Alberto Alvarez. He has led the most laps, qualified on the pole, and is looking at his second win of the season, plus winning the bracket challenge and the $50 bonus. And out of turn 4, Alberto Alvarez gets the win. Patrick Pieper crosses the line in second. Christopher Severt in third. Kirk Marble comes home in fourth. We're waiting for the official word that he is officially the champ. Tyler Ott comes home in fifth. Well, it does not look like we have Christopher Severt available to interview or our winner, but we will get a word quickly with Patrick Pieper while we wait on the official news of the championship. Patrick, you definitely had quite a night. You come home in second after starting in 8th and slipping out of the top 10 for a bit.
Yeah, no, I was really happy with where I finished. The race went pretty well, all things considered. I felt like when it was pretty, early sunny, I guess, when it was daylight, the track was a lot less forgiving. And then also, too, I just learned that if I could just keep it just on the bottom side, I could and just stay consistent down there, I'd end up pretty well. I'm really happy with second. I think it's my best finish so far this year. So I really don't like these cars, as evidenced by my paint scheme with the Spirit Halloween going out of business type deal. But yeah, I'm happy with second.
Well, go ahead.
I was just gonna say I don't think anybody had anything for Alberto tonight. He was on rails.
Yeah, he definitely was. You could tell he wanted that championship here tonight, man. He fought hard for that one, but great job tonight, man. Congratulations.
All right, I'll see you soon, Doug.
Patrick Pieper coming home in second. And we're waiting on Colby Whipple, but let's go ahead and pull Kirk in and talk to him. Well, Kirk, we're waiting on the official word from Colby, but our math says you are the champ.
Champion!
Like I said, we're waiting on the official word from Whipple. I know you wanted to win that bracket challenge, but man, there's a couple points you started running down Alberto, but then he'd just take off again.
Man, that's because I think I was just melting my tires off trying to catch him. He was just smooth and fast tonight.
Well, a great job, man. Congratulations. It was an awesome season, buddy.
Thanks, Doug. Thanks for broadcasting.
And finally, we get to interview our winner, Alberto. Man, that was a dominant performance tonight.
Hey, Doc. Yeah, pretty good race.
I have to say, we were looking at the championship numbers beforehand, and they were telling me what you had to do to win the championship, and you needed Kirk, obviously, to finish a lot further back, but you qualified on the pole. You led the vast majority of the laps, were extremely fast. Man, that was an awesome race.
Oh yeah, I mean I knew the first place on the championship was gone already. So congratulations to Kirk for that. He had an amazing season. And so I knew I only had the bracket challenge to win and had to secure second place. So to beat Kirk in the bracket challenge, I had to probably win, and so that's what I had to do and did.
Well,
So
man,
pretty happy about it.
You definitely did it. You got it done in a big way tonight. A great job, a great season. Congratulations.
Yeah, thanks, man.
Alberto Alvarez pulling off the win. Guys, thank you so much. As I mentioned, make sure you're following on Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, Instagram, and YouTube, as we have a lot of recruitment going on right now. And we have a lot of recruitment coming up for a variety of different leagues. So make sure you're checking us out. Thank you guys so much for tuning in.
Hey, don't leave yet.
Okay.
I got the official word after adding up. We have our champion hopping back in here right now. Kirk Marble, champion of the C12 Cup Series this year. You're already in here with your interview for top 3, but congrats. Winning the championship.
Yeah, I mean, it was a rough season with the next gen car, honestly. I still don't like him, Colby, but it
Looked real rough.
I mean, it worked out for me in the end, I guess.
4 wins is not rough.
They felt rough.
Well, Kirk, great job, buddy. Great season. 4 wins. A really strong season, man. Congratulations.
Yeah, it's a fun season, and it's a fun group of guys.
Well, great job. Looking forward to the next one.
Yep, me too, Doug.
Congrats, Kirk.
Thanks, Colby.
And thank you guys so much. We'll see you tomorrow, and have a great night, everybody.